Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the ACC Enduro Round 4 pre-comment. No, this is with post-commentary. We are, of course, on the majestic track of Brandon's Hatchway upon Swansea. I don't know what track we're on. What track are we on?
We're on Spa.
Spa. The Spa-Francorchamps GP. Located currently in actually Portugal, which is weird. So interesting. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man who put the Portuguese in Fortaleza, Michael Magas.
I refuse to take credit for that.
Can't prove he's wrong though.
Welcome to the monthly Enduro series with ESR, and that means 2 pit stops, 90 minutes, and one team that has 2 drivers. So that's interesting. So yeah, one driver swap going on here. It is Team Brazil, this Brazilian super team of Dudu Barba and Alexander Doro who will be doing that. They're down in 14th place right now in the McLaren 720.
Is Dudu related to HaHa Clinton Dix?
No. That would be interesting if he was. That is by far one of the most interesting NFL player names, though, of all time. HaHa Clinton Dix.
Apparently that's a nickname, and he just kind of went with it as his name.
Mm-hmm. True. Former Green Bay Packer.
HaHa Dudu Fafa.
So, Jeff currently holding on pole position here as we're running down here in qualifying. Dominic Turcotte is in second place, still out on track, so we'll see if he can do anything about that. William Murrah, Xavi Castaño-Muniz, Michael Leibel, Albert Arjona, this man John Spriggs in his Porsche. Then it is Matt Higgs. Surprised to see Matt Higgs down so far down in the order.
I'm surprised to see Matt Higgs racing.
Robin Rashik. Then it's Max Simmons returned and in top 10. Liam Curtin, James Butler, Sean Kenny, Dave Nelson, Dudu Barba, Michael Magas, Eric Friesen is back. And then Lawrence Mindak and John Barker. So the longer-awaited return of Eric Friesen. If you've been a fan of ESR for a really long time, you'll remember Friesen was a regular on the ESR grid for the longest of times. And then he went away, and now he's back, although he's back on a very part-time basis. Doesn't want to kind of commit to anything really right now. Because, I suspect he has female aggro. That's what I suspected.
He was sent to re-education camp, but now he has been on work release.
He's out in Sweden these days.
Sweden, I hear they's neutral.
And also, newcomer to the grid is Mr. Mindak, who is new to ESR in its entirety. Although I think we raced with him in a multi-community event at one point.
Maybe.
I think so. I know his name from somewhere. I'll have to ask him. It's simple. Dominic Turcotte coming across the line, but unable to better his position. He'll start on the front row with a Jeff. Matt Higgs popping up to the top 5 right there at the end. So good run from him, and we have a grid. So Jeff Turcotte, Murrah, Castaño-Muniz, Higgs, Leibel. Then it is Arjona, Spriggs, Rahashik, Simmons. And I think everyone else is right where I said they were before, so no need to run down further than the top 10. So we're getting ready here. Like I said, 90 minutes, 2 pit stops mandatory with a tire change at both. No mandatory refueling, but we will inevitably see some refueling. We'll see if anybody has any problems with those going through here. And generally just looking forward to some good stuff here. I do believe this is the first Enduro that will feature the non-widget starting procedure, which people have been very, very high on. And this might actually be the first race we've done where everyone has a custom entry list flag. So that is interesting.
Something widget spinners.
And we've been exploring what countries don't have flags in ACC, which is a little bit disappointing.
There are no flags for Southern Canada, which I think they're calling the United States now. I'm not too sure.
I mean, they are calling it that. The helicopter is poised, ready.
Give him the helicopter. Oh, I see a Gulf oil. Well done.
There is, yes.
See two.
That would be Albert Arjona and Chevy Castaño Muniz.
Well done, gentlemen.
GPX
Well done.
Porsche team. Very popular livery.
That means they're going to win or crash.
I mean, that kind of has been Albert Arjona's like endurance season so far. Coming into this race, he has not finished a single one of the 3 rounds, despite qualifying quite well in all 3 of them. So we do wish him the best, starting from P7. This is Matt Higgs' debut in the series. Did not compete in the first 3 rounds. And keep in mind, this series has got plenty of rounds left in it. 7 more. In fact, we have no bronze drivers for the 2nd consecutive round. And I am reminded that I need to bring that up on Discord to see what the deal is with the bronze crew.
They are tarnished.
We need them to. We don't need, but we want them to be on the grid. They have their own little trophy to compete over, and it's been a little bit disappointing that they have not elected to attend Suzuka or now Spa. Or no, not Suzuka, Nürburgring or Spa. Series will be next going to Silverstone at the end of May, so that'll be fun. Very challenging track.
Is that the new prison camp?
It is not the new prison camp. In fact, it's the old prison camp.
Ooh.
It's an old.
Oh my god, engine sounds. I don't like it. It's scary.
like so many racetracks back in the day, Silverstone is a former World War II airfield, which tends to be how a lot of them came to be.
I mean, technically, all of the airfields from World War II are former.
I think there's a couple of airfields in Germany that are still in use.
Yeah, but they're also former World War II airfields.
I get where you're going with this. I got you.
I don't like this. I don't like this. Matt Higgs is going to fuck this up.
Well, we'll see. Waiting for that green flag to come down, which will be somewhere around here. Start-finish line is in this general vicinity. We are green here at Spa-Francorchamps as we head down towards Eau Rouge for the first time. I love that camera shot. Wow.
That is nice.
And it is still going to be a Jeff in the lead. One of the GPX Porsches going wide. I believe that was Xavi Castaño Muniz. It is still Jeff. Jeff got a hell of a jump. Look at that lead already. Wow. Dominic Turcotte, Chevy Castaño Muniz, William Murrah going 3 wide towards Les Cônes. Looks like everybody has been safe so far. Not seeing any big gaps to indicate that anyone failed to negotiate Eau Rouge in a tactful manner. Albert Arjona in 7th place ahead of John Spriggs and behind the silver leader Michael Leibel in the McLaren 720S.
Those aren't Gulf Oil. Those are Fanatec. I've been bamboozled.
It's Gulf Oil.
It's not Gulf Oil enough.
It says Gulf on it.
It says Fanatec and they got green bumpers. Not a fan.
Yeah, but it's got Gulf Oil.
I'll allow it this time.
Arjona is the only one that has green. The other one doesn't have green. So it is Jeff Turcotte, William Murrah, Matt Higgs is up to 4th place, followed by Castaño Muniz, Leibel, Arjona, Spriggs, Rahastic, and some more or less the same top 10 as in qualifying. A couple of positions have flipped around. I think really just Higgs making his way up into 4th is your only big change. Looks like somebody is falling back. Somebody may have had a spin. There is Liam Curtin, who I think is the guy falling backwards, and you might be able to see why. That is some ping going on that is not comfortable. As him and David Nelson come up to Blanchiment. Oh, nudge David Nelson a little bit. And Michael Magas says, thank you very much. He's been... Oh, contact! That, I think, is one of the Angry Panda, or Mad Panda cars. Dominic Turcotte, I think. No, it is not Turcotte. It's got to be William Murrah. William Murrah off the track. Somebody else was off. I did not catch whom.
Who's
I'm looking for the other. I'm basically just looking for the other car that's dropping backwards in the pack. That would probably tell me who it is.
It's Michael Magas. He's all the way back in 14th.
No, that's actually above where he started. Murrah into the pit lane. That is a unforced pit, or that is an unscheduled pit stop for the Mad Panda crew.
It's like tennis. It's like an unforced error.
A little bit. Eric Friesen going side by side ahead with Dudu Barba battling over 11th place.
I feel like his last name should be longer, like Dudu Brouhaha.
Oh, that's a Bentley's backwards. That's got to be James Butler. He's the only Bentley in the field.
Sir, that's the wrong direction.
Dropping down. That is, yeah, the HMS Boatley is in the wrong direction right now.
Your boy Butler's queuing up to audition to be in the new boy band Wrong Direction.
Going in the wrong direction. Liam Curtin in 12th place, pardon. In the Aston Martin V8 Advantage with the Garage 59 livery. Ahead of him, it is Rahatsik, Sean Kenny, Dudu Barba battling. As well as, I think Kenny's gotten ahead of Rahatsik. We just haven't had an update on the positionals there. So it'll be interesting to see what the next timing line comes in. Albert Arjona, 6th place, behind Michael Leibel, but ahead of John Spriggs. There's the update for Butler, who is shoveled to the back of the pack. Into Blanchimont we go.
It's the Barker-Butler connection.
And then approaching the final turn of the lap, the bus stop chicane. Looks like there's a bit of debris in the middle of the track. That's going to be interesting. So early days yet, 90 minutes to go. So this is really just keep your nose out of trouble and work with it. And William Murrah is still in the pit lane at this point, so his day might be over.
It would be a miracle if he rejoined the field.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would, because it sounds like a funny pun.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good pun.
It would be quite miraculous.
So it looks like the oh, never mind. I was going to say the auto director is very much in love with Albert Arjona, but switching over to Dominic Turcotte now in the TalkSport WRT Mercedes. This is his first race in the Mercedes. He was partnering with Josh McLaughlin in the Jaguar G3, but he abandoned the Jaguar and is now no longer racing such a colorful car. He's racing the classic, well, not the classic, because it's pretty much brand new to the game, but the pedestrian Mercedes AMG 2020 Evo model. John Barker looking at the back of Dave Nelson, who's battling with Michael Magas, and it looks like Lawrence Mindak is missing from this group, so he may have had a tumble. We'll see next time we get an updating on the positions there.
That Mendak the mind taker? Oh, it's Mendak.
Or this could be, or it could be that Magas has fallen backwards from his 13th place being displayed.
Maybe. Although I find that highly unlikely.
It looks like that is the case, because it looks like 14th. This looks like 14th, 15th, and 16th. And yep, there it is combined. So Mid-DAC is actually ahead of this group, having overtaken Magas. Looks like Magas may have had an off-track moment based on the gap. Dave Nelson. Can we get the camera on Dave Nelson, please? He's trying to nudge his way past Mike Magas.
We don't actually have a producer. We can't do that. Sorry.
I know. We do have a producer, but it's an automatic algorithm in this case. And Magas is going to hold that spot through the bus stop chicane. He's sporting a new livery today, the Monteplas Balen Motorsport car. Previously, he was running the Audi factory livery for Attempto Racing. Michael Leibel looks like he's up a spot into 5th place. No, that's just from the William Murrah fall down the order, I do believe. Or no, it might be. John Spriggs back to 7th place, so it looks like maybe Spriggs is at a moment. Magas getting a little bit of a gap there towards Eau Rouge, so he's got a good run through La Source, or Nelson had a bad one. Take your pick. They head down the Kemmel Straight. John Barker trying to chase them down in the V12 Aston, and the Bentley of James Butler, which should be the danger car here. The Bentley very, very quick down that Kemmel Straight. That's its strongest point on the track. So we'll see if the big boy, the HMS Boatley, can get through.
Is it true that the about 10 years ago, La Source was called La Radio Shack?
No. But 2 turns after La Source on this track, there is Radion.
La Radio Shack.
There you go. Yeah, apparently there still is a Radio Shack branded store in Hamilton. You hear me? Which is a bit weird. A bit bizarre.
Well, I think they should just go back to it. I mean, people knew about Radio Shack. Nobody goes
Indeed.
to that source.
Yeah, I think they actually screwed up by rebranding the stores, to be honest. I think they would be better off.
Radio Shack was kind of
Matt
a
Higgs, by the
byword
way,
for
has moved
cheap
up to
stuff.
3rd.
So I can understand why they did it, but they should have just, I don't know, stock better products.
I mean, you went there to get certain electrical components that you couldn't really get anywhere else that were fairly cheap.
That is true.
So, I don't know. Sometimes I think there's a rebrand, there's a desire to rebrand that kind of backfires a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I bought my radio.
Due to Barber overtaking Sean Kenny.
Oh, I like that. I like that color scheme. That's good.
That is the McLaren Shadow Project car that you can choose the secondary color for. It's one of the few liveries in this game that you can kind of do custom because it comes with a bunch of preset color combos. Like, they're all black as the primary, but you can do like a yellow or a blue or a purple or a green.
I'd like to see that with a dark green, but I appreciate the
manly
salmon we've got rocking here.
I think we will, because we do have a full 4-car team of these coming up in the 3D Speed Series this week. So hopefully one of them is running a lovely dark green.
That would be delightful.
In fact, they can run some different colors throughout the course of the series and see what sticks. There's also a Lamborghini team that you can do the same thing with. It's Squadro. It's like Squadro Italian Lightning or something. Italian Lightning C Squad or something like that. Is the name of it?
A Squadro Porte? Isn't that the new hotness?
Squadro Porte. Get on it, Alfa Romeo.
Hell yeah.
So Barba's been working his way up in the field here. That's Sean Kenny and Eric Freisen behind him. Freisen's had a good race. Qualified down near the back, but it looks like he's kind of rediscovering his skill as time goes on here. In 10th place in the Balf McLaren, which is the red one, the back of this field here. And Albert Arjona has slipped down to 11th place, so something has happened to Albert. And his misfortune continues. Looks like he is circulating some 4 seconds behind this group. See if he can catch back up, because he is, of course, one of the faster drivers in the field, even if the results have not really proved it throughout this Enduro.
Maybe it's because they're incredibly intoxicated.
I mean, it's kind of showed, actually, because I said he was 4 seconds behind. He's now 2.5 behind, so he made it by 1.5 seconds in one sector. So he is quicker than this trio. We'll see if he can catch them. A lot of McLarens today. A lot of McLarens. We got Michael Leibel. We got Robin Rahatsik. Dudu Barber, Eric Freisen. So the presence of the McLaren has gone up substantially since last time we were active in this series, as Freisen looks to the outside. That I don't think is going to work. Or maybe it will. Sean Kenny with a really, really ginger exit from La Source. Maybe he was looking for Radio Shack and he went to a La Source. I don't know.
Could be.
And Eric Freisen, indeed, is moving up into 9th place. As they head through Eau Rouge and Radion to the Kemmel Straight. HF still in the lead from Turcotte. Matt Higgs got up into 3rd place a little while ago, having overtaken Xavi Castaño Muniz, who is 4th. Michael Leibel, John Spriggs, Robin Rahatsik. That is Barba, Fries, and Kenny, the battle you're seeing here. And right behind them is Albert Arjona. You can see him in the GPX Porsche coming along. And then just outside the shot is the Aston Martin of Liam Curtin, who is running in 12th place.
All the places that are 12th.
All the places that are 12th, yes.
In the future, all things will be 12th place.
All things will be 12th place.
You need to hang stuff off that crane. Just, come on, do a little random coding. And for each race, maybe there's a random thing hanging off the big boom lift.
Make it a little bit like mistletoe for like a Christmas race.
Yeah, like hang a flag off there. Maybe it's some national holiday or whatever, or hang a, I don't know, person. Like somebody clinging to it, like, ah!
That might be going a little far.
I didn't not like hanging, not like that. I'm like somebody's hanging on and dangling off of it, going, no, let me down.
Michael Leibel
with a nail in it.
Michael Leibel in 5th place in the EMA Group McLaren 720. Been a lot of McLarens lately. I know. Oh, Albert Arjona overtakes Sean Kenny. It looks like Sean didn't give a lot of fight there, which, I mean, that might be the right call. Again, very long race, and we know from the past pace that realistically Arjona is not racing Kenny. This is a separate race, shall we say, that is kind of intruded on Sean Kenny's battle with Friesen and Barba. Arjona is more fighting with the likes of a John Spriggs, probably, in the overall shade of things there, as looks like James Butler has picked up a spot. 2 spots, actually. He's gotten past Barker and Nelson. Next on his list is the Audi of Michael Magas.
Michael Magas, I heard so much about him. He's the hot young prospect coming up through the ranks. He is currently ranked in the Molybdenum League.
Molybdenum. Michael Magas, one of the ESR administrators.
Never heard of him.
And the Bentley looking to make a move there into Leco, but I don't think he was really close enough to think about that. I think he just kind of wasted a little bit of forward momentum. I do like that my 3-letter name is MMA. Mixed martial arts, baby.
Wiggity word.
I didn't even have to work for that to rig that, because that would be in this field be my name if this were an actual GT race, because the format, of course, is the first 3 letters of your last name, but if they are taken, which MAG is bizarrely common in ESR, you would then go to your first initial plus the first 2 letters of your last name. Or
become mixed Maggle artichokes.
Well, in weird cases of like a 3-person name, like Javier Perez Torres, for example, JPT would be used. You can see the V12 in the background. So they've caught up to Laura's Mindak, who we hadn't really seen up till now. He's that row Porsche there, the yellow, white, and gray 911. And the Bentley is looking again side by side into Blanchiment. Nothing doing at this time. Butler would love to get past. He's a little bit out of position right now. Could be a little bit higher in the picking order. As they head into the bus stop chicane. And... oh no! Butler gets into the back of Magas. And Nelson gets caught up in the carnage as well.
You, sir, have been buddled.
Definitely. Butler moves up into 14th place as a result. John Barker says, thank you, I'll take 2 positions. Moves into 15th position. Nelson recovers a little bit faster than Magas. They will go into 16th and 17th. William Murrah, should bring that up. He's back out on track now. And Albert Arjona is our first pitter in the pit window, which is open and will be open for the next 58 minutes.
And if you get there in time, while supplies last, there will be french fries.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe corn dogs. I ain't had me a corn dog in a little bit. I should go get me a corn dog.
Eric Friesen on the tail of Dudu Barba. One of the newer members to ESR, battling with one of the OGs. Also McLaren on McLaren action, both in the 720S. Oh, I didn't realize there's an Alienware logo on the Shadow Project McLaren.
That makes sense. It's about that red color.
Yeah. Or, well, it's an alien head. I don't know if it's this. Oh! And we kind of jinked the Shadow Project McLaren by being so high on it because it just lost 2 spots to Fryson and Kennedy. Or Kenny.
What evil lurks in the engines of men, the Shadow knows.
Back to race leader A. Jeff in the Belgian Auto Club Audi. Bit weird that with all the German Audis, he's gone with the Belgian one, but okay. And he has the lead. 4.4 seconds up on Dominic Turcotte. Not really sure why we're checking in with him right now, but I don't know, maybe he just did a fastest lap or something, and that tricked the auto director into coming over here.
There you go, folks. If you're not getting on camera enough, just go faster.
It's a way. Also go really slow, because it will also generally pick up people who've just hit a wall or something.
Something wrong with this boy. Come check this out.
Sean Kenny running in 9th place now in the ERC Sport Mercedes. You know, it's a bit weird. We got so many Mercedes in the field, but they're all like very unknown racing teams, kind of bizarrely, that people have gone with. Like it's not the big names in Mercedes Autosports that they've elected to drive as, which is a bit interesting. The Mad Panda, I get, because the Mad Panda, that's a cool car. It's an interesting car. Not really so high on Sean Kenny's here. What do you think? Kind of just generic black and white Mercedes.
That's my favorite race team.
Oh, okay.
Generic black and white Mercedes top team. With such luminary drivers as Nigel Turnstile and Adolf von Schickelgruber.
That's something that really is kind of MMA unique, is the whole top team thing.
It is, yeah.
With Toronto, I mean, really, you name a city or a country, they have a top team. It's a bit weird. Be it Brazilian top team, of course, the creator of the whole thing, but now you have Canada top team, you have Brazilian top team Canada, American top team, Michigan top team, Toronto top team, the Triple T.
Brazilian top team Canada of Ohio and Miami.
That would be interesting.
The ultimate combination.
I do love that when people, like, anytime someone's like, he's training out of American top team, and everyone gets like excited. It's like, Connecticut. Oh, not the good one.
Not the good one.
Not the good one. They have, I think they have branches in Georgia, Connecticut, and Oklahoma. Probably more.
Where the wind goes sweeping down the plain?
Massachusetts has one, which is, I think, the only one that's produced a UFC caliber fighter aside from the Florida-based one, because they had Daniel Kramer, who fought in the UFC for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then in Bellator for a chunk. He's the dude who famously got matched up with Tim Crater that led to Tim Crater's "I'm going to make thousands of teenage girls cry." Because he was apparently photogenic to the ladies. And Tim Crater's just crazy. Fully believes anyone more attractive than him cannot fight as good as he is.
I believe professionally he is known as Crazy Tim Crater.
Indeed, he is. His career went really downhill really quick. It was a bit of a weird one.
Didn't he take like a lot of shots to the head though?
He did. Well, and this is the wording of any fighter that is like reliant on their granite chin, is that it just stopped working. Like there was no gradual drop. It was just like one day Tim Crater's in there fighting, taking a beating, doing his thing, and then the next fight he gets booked, he just gets knocked out with the first punch that hits him. And it's just like it's gone. It's gone. The button is pressed.
Crazy Tim Crater, 6'3", 185 pounds, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is French for, not Baton Rouge, it's Brew Bridge. I don't know what that means. I was gonna make a joke about misinterpreting
I
French.
would assume that'd be Bridge Road.
Bridge Road, take me home.
Matt Higgs being trailed by Michael Leibel, who's picked up a spot while we weren't looking. And by we, I mean the director wasn't looking. He's up to 4th place. Michael Leibel making a real case for promotion from the silver ranks this season. He's had a couple of very, very good runs. And he's up there doing it this time as well. You see the pace at the front is about a 2:20 flat from Matt Higgs around this circuit here. Didn't catch what time pole was, actually. It looks like we've seen 2:19s in the race at the very least.
There's some weirdness on Tim Critter's record.
Oh.
Fought Nick, and then a Nate. Nate Logren, Nick Catone, and then Nate Quarry.
I know all of those as relatively notable fighters.
I mean, you've heard of all of his losses. He lost to Joey, the Dream Smasher, Villasenor. Chael, I sold out my mom to the feds, Sonnen.
Yeah, that was in Bodog, if memory serves.
Yeah, that's correct. In world famous Costa Rica.
Indeed. Go to Costa Rica, everybody.
It went on a hot streak and then lost to Nate Quarry, Ed Herman, and then retired. Only had 2 TKO finishes on his career. That was Chael Sonnen and Ed Herman.
Well, I think the Quarry fight was also an example of, like, he didn't get finished, but it was a lot of, like, Quarry hit him and he'd be, like, really hurt. And it's like, oh, this is kind of the end. You know what I'm saying? Like when Quarry's hitting your button multiple times a fight, it's coming to an end.
Well, I think the additional factor to that is he had a daughter about 6 months prior to his final fight, and he hadn't fought in almost a year. Almost 2 years. And so there's probably some injuries going on there. And he's probably making a boatload more teaching people jiu-jitsu than fighting in the UFC.
He does have a relatively successful camp down there in Louisiana that includes Dustin Poirier.
There you go. I think the man's doing pretty well.
They go through Blanchimont. Matt Higgs trying to hang on against Leibel's is attacking him hard here. Leibel is determined to say, you know what, I may be silver, but that podium, it looks good. Higgs is coming in the pits. He's like, I'm not dealing with this shit.
Good move.
James Butler also in the pit lane in the Bentley. All right, so we got pits, the first mandatory pit stop of the day to work with here. Albert Arjona has, of course, done his and is down in 17th place. He'll be up at his 16th shortly. He'll overtake Butler, I imagine. Dave Nelson on the tail of John Barker in the V12. How'd these two end? Oh, right. Nelson was caught up in the Butler Magas incident. That's why he is behind Barker. Eric Friesen running in 7th place. So let's talk about the theory of pit stops here. Of course, if you're putting up good lap times, you probably want to extend that run as far as you can. It gives you the freshest tires towards the end of the action. That's James Butler rejoining there in the Bentley. Obviously, if you have any damage, this is the time to throw yourself down the pit lane. Looking at roughly 30-30-30 for the split here. We're almost 30 minutes into the race, so I think we'll probably see a rash of pit stops the next 2 laps, I would imagine. And then, of course, some people will go deep. Some people will cut it short. I think Arjona came in notably early. I wonder if he had damage to fix, but his pace was pretty good. So we'll see how that works out. And of course, if you schedule an earlier pit stop, it means you can start with lower fuel and maybe make your way through the grid. So that also is going to bear a thought to your strategy. Eric Friesen and Sean Kenny, who at one point were both ESR server hosts, actually. Little further similarities between the two. And
so they backhacked the server, and now they know how to win.
Well, they're in 7th and 8th place, so they do not know how to win yet.
They're just sandbagging.
This particular race is indeed hosted on Sean's computer. Not the one he's racing on, but a separate. We'll have to figure out what's going to happen with the servers, because of course our server rack provider is shutting down ACC support.
Oh, damn.
So we're going to lose that, which is very disappointing. Turcotte and Leibel in the pits. It'd be very interesting to see where Leibel comes out in relation to Matt Higgs. So that's something everyone should be probably keeping their eye on there. Higgs shown in 15th place, Leibel up in 5th, but that will change as the racers cycle through past the pit lane here. The Spa pit lane is exceedingly long. So there's the first half of the pit lane. You can see right there. There's a second half around the corner here behind this orange divider wall here. That's another pit lane. This is the longest pit lane possibly in all of professional motorsports, actually. Maybe something like Le Mans might have something bigger, but it is huge. Not really talking about the action on track right now, because right now it's all about getting the pit stops done and wading your way through. So we'll probably see things rejoin shortly. Michael Magas working his way through Eau Rouge. Not really sure why we're with Mr. Magas, because it's not really near anybody.
But look at that ass.
He is about 5 seconds behind John Barker in the V12 Aston Martin. Which you can just see in the distance.
My MMA Wikipedia ramblings have led me to Matt Horwich.
A legend.
Said
in this
kooky Jesus freak.
I mean,
Listen,
MMA has a lot of those.
I don't really have a problem if you're religious. It's not, it's your thing, not my thing. It's fine. But this guy will go out of his way to interrupt your conversation so he can quote the Bible at you.
See, I have actually less of a problem with that than I have with a lot of other religious practices within MMA. Just because it's so weird.
It's all for show.
Very, very weird that MMA and the Christian faith in particular, but also other faiths as well, are so intertwined. This is very bizarre.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Doo-Doo Barber is sparking a little bit of damage there.
At no point was a fan of Matt Horwich.
I never particularly liked or disliked the man, to be honest. Just weird. Ajep, by the way, in from the lead, as well as John Spriggs and Robin Rahatchik. So that'll hand the lead over to Xavi Castaño Muniz for the time being. Interesting scenario here. James Butler appears to be moving much quicker than Doo-Doo Barba, but of course this is not a battle for position. Butler is pitted and is a lap down. So I would hope one of these guys would just kind of... Specifically, I would think Barba would just want to get him kind of away from him. Let him run the last bit of his stint here and hand the car over to Alexander Doro in relative peace.
All right, now the ramblings have taken me to the Ricardo Big Dog Almeida page.
The Big Dog. But the camera will focus on this, despite the fact this is not a battle for position, but just an awkward pit stop moment, basically. You got the Bentley on fresher tires, ready to go, and the McLaren on the tires it started the race on. And eventually there it is. Butler is going to get through and get his lap back. A lot of cars in the pits right now. We got Jeff, Spriggs, Rahashchik, Friesen, Curtin, Barker. By the way, we were talking about the Michael Leibel, Matt Higgs battle. Higgs has come out ahead of Leibel. About 3 seconds to the good, so looks like Leibel did not have a very good overcut lap. And Higgs winning out in this particular moment. And about 2.5 seconds off of Dominic Turcotte, who we pick up here going through Eau Rouge. Still awaiting the pit stops from Michael Magas, Dave Nelson, Loris Mindak, Doo-Doo Barba, Sean Kenny, and Xavi Castaño Muniz. And then everyone else, of course, still owes an additional. William Murray has picked up a drive-through penalty, so his day has gone from bad to badder.
Not fantastic.
It's been a rough day for the ESR Enduro Championship leader. Feel like we might have a new one by the end of this race, but we'll have a look because he wasn't too far out ahead, and he looks like he is in definitive trouble right now.
Interesting note of Ricardo the Big Dog Almeida's career that I may present to you. Homie never fought for anything that I wouldn't consider kind of a top flight organization.
That would be that Henzo Gracie connection working its magic.
Very much. The opening bout in Pride. Fights at UFC, went to Pancrase, back to Pride, back to UFC, where he retired later on.
Yep. So, not really sure why we're occupied with Dominic Turcotte right now, but it is
Look at that car.
What it is. The Fanatec sponsorship on all the cars is a series sponsorship as opposed to a car sponsorship, should be mentioned. Fanatec is actually the current sponsor of the GT World Challenge in real life. Although they haven't gotten, it hasn't replaced Blancpain as the title sponsor, so they're holding out for something bigger, I think. But the banner ads are Fanatec at the moment. So Magas, Mindak, and Kenny in the pit lane. So Nelson, Barba, and Castano Muniz are the three going the longest as we pick up the current race leader, Xavi Castano Muniz. Could be the overall race leader. You never know. Depends on how things have gone for the other guys who pitted, and depends on what his pace has been. I would like to get the best lap, last lap up if we could in the near future. So hopefully we stick with him until the start-finish line, and we can see what kind of pace he's running out there right now. He's run pretty deep. We're almost 35 minutes into the race. There we pick up Rahashik, who just did an outlap of 3:55, 3:47, which is not flattering, but that is because he is exited pit. Oh, Xavi in the pits. So Dudu Barba might take the lead here. Maybe Dave Nelson. We'll see. On board with Robin Rahatsik, who has come out behind Albert Arjona. Now, Arjona's in a weird spot because he's very off the normal pit lane strategy. He pitted very, very early, so it's going to be interesting to see how his car develops to the track as time goes on here. But he looks to be running in a net 8th place because he's probably ahead of Nelson and probably ahead of Barba, who have yet to pit. Barba, I guess, is the maybe one, unless Dudu has really run that car properly into the top 10, because he was not there before. And looks like Barba will be the last one to pit, barring William Murray, who, unfortunately, I think is kind of in a race of his own. You can see he's shown there 2 laps down to the next car.
I also am in a race of my own.
Didn't realize Rahashik has changed his livery. He's still with the same team, still with the Jensen Rocket Team RJN, but he has flipped over to the new RJN livery to recognize their Sky sponsorship, which previously had belonged to Sky Tempesta Racing, which I imagine is just going to be Tempesta Racing now.
Because somebody took the Sky from them?
Mm-hmm. William Murray into the pits. And a Jeff back into second place. Probably effectively your race leader still. There is Albert Arjona.
Not to be confused with Albert Uhona.
It will be really interesting to see where Albert works out here. In fact, Dudu Barba either recently exited the pits or is just exiting the pits. I'm not sure. I don't see him. Or not Barba, pardon me. That's Nelson who just exited the pits. And Xavi Castano Muniz. So, Arjona is still behind teammate Chevy, but up in 8th place, possibly 7th place overall.
That shabby Castellano.
We'll see where Nelson rejoins the flow of things. He was battling with Barker, Butler, and Magas. Interesting. Liam Curtin appears to be a big loser on the pit stops. He's dropped behind Lawrence Mindak, who he was quite a ways ahead of. So something happened there. Maybe some damage to be repaired in the pit lane. Actually, speaking of it, he just overtakes Mindak, and we come to see the end of the overtake. So, charging back through the field, even if he had maybe a less than ideal pit stop, or I think maybe Mindak had just a really good one. Looking at this now, because Mindak, who was battling with the likes of Nelson and Barker, is about 4.5 seconds clear of Nelson and Barker, and very well clear of Michael Magas, who looks like he's had a terrible pit stop, and James Butler has had a terrible pit stop. So it looks like not terribly surprising, but Butler and Magas, who were in the wars earlier on, might have had some damage to repair in the pits. And I can give you the inside into the Mike Magas pit stop. There was damage. There was a significant amount of damage.
How much damage?
I believe there is about 11 seconds of damage. So that
was it, like in metric seconds?
So, okay, so there's a minimum pit stop time of 30 seconds, of course, in these races. This is designed to be for safety purposes, because they're in an endurance race. Normally, you'd have a driver swap. So, guy gets in and out of the car. They found that there were injuries occurring and mayhem and stuff. So they just said, okay, it's a 30-second pit stop, so you guys can, relax a little bit. You got 30 seconds to get in the car before there's any real time lost. And then if you flip your master, your MFD, why am I not remembering what that stands for?
That's the particle board, right?
No. MFD is a screen in the car that can give you additional data. For example, if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you see the results. You can put that up on your MFD, or you could put up a performance one, or an electronics one. But there's also a pit menu, and the pit menu will give you a projected time of pit stop. So the minimum time is 30 seconds. Anything that it's saying more than 30 seconds, that's the damage. That's the time you're wasting or benefiting, if the damage is bad enough, fixing the damage. So Mr. Magas was being shown 41 seconds on his pit stop, which means there was roughly 11 seconds of bodywork and suspension to fix up the car.
I had a bookshelf made out of MFD once. Fell apart.
Still no pit stop from Dudu Bar, but we're getting very close to the halfway point. Now, mind you, he is a driver swap car, so I do wonder if maybe this is a plan from the Brazilians to just have him do one long stint, and then Alexander Doro will sprint it to the end here as we pick up the functional leader, second place on track, AJF. Leibel is caught right back up to Matt Higgs, so the pit stop has not fixed what's wrong with Higgs's car, or is Leibel just motoring? Because Leibel's doing low 219s right now, so he's doing good pace, but he is mowed down and is right back with the Porsche Matt Higgs. This battle for third place, effectively right now, is a pretty big deal. William Murray, you can see, is still in the pit lane. I think he's maybe parked it and decided that this day is, in fact, over. So hopefully the camera sticks with this battle, because it's not the only one going on right now. Arjona and Rahashik are kind of close together, but not to insult Robin, I think Arjona's got that. It might get interesting towards the end if Arjona experiences any tire or brake fade towards the end of this stint, because he did pit notably earlier than anybody else. So we'll hopefully stick with Leibel and Higgs for a bit.
You think we're liable to do that?
I hope they are. I'm going to do quick headset flipping or reboot because the one side is sometimes the one side fades out on me, and it's done that. So you will have Byron for like the next.
Perhaps
I don't
my
know.
voice is just so
seconds.
sexy that it just gave up.
Oh, it came back to life right when you said that. Nice
Hey,
and
baby,
done, Byron.
welcome back.
Oh, Liable with a little bit of a moment there. Takes the pressure off of Matt Higgs. Xavi Castaño-Muniz in the background there in the GPX Porsche. Trying to run down the McLaren. McLaren is, of course, an interesting car manufacturer because it's the car company that was started by Bruce McLaren, F1 driver, back in the 60s and I think late 50s. And he was a New Zealander, but of course it's based in Britain. So there's a big fight between New Zealand and the UK over which country really owns the McLaren brand.
That would be Jeff Bezos.
You know, it's mildly surprising Jeff Bezos hasn't bought himself a supercar company.
He's trying to buy an NFL team.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened already, to be honest.
Yeah, the speculation is that Dummy from the formerly known as the
Washington
Native
football
Americans.
team. Dan Schneider.
Yeah, the Schneid. Apparently, he's bought out all the minority orders of the DCFC, and the speculation is that he's done that not just so that he can continue to be a power-hungry and shady owner, but just sell it all to Bezos.
See, that's a weird one because it seems like, regardless of what else I think about the man, speaking of Schneider, it does seem like he enjoys owning a NFL football team. So, bit weird that he would just sell it.
Well, I mean, he's bad at it, and
that would have stopped him long ago if that was a criteria.
Yeah, but it's the only thing the Washington football team, the Washington Hand Egg team is known as, is a bad team owned by a bad team owner.
Yes, I would agree with that. There's been a tremendous lack of success in Washington for a long time. The Redskins name controversy, and then, of course, just generally the fact that Dan Schneider is kind of like Jerry Jones, but bad at it. Jerry Jones is the Dallas Cowboys owner, for anyone that's not an NFL
Jerry
fan.
Jones is bad at it, too.
Well, what I mean is that Jerry Jones believes that he knows football and doesn't. At least not nearly to the degree he wants. And he has been willing to step on general managers and head coaches and tell them what to do. Sort of like the media in Toronto with the Maple Leafs for like the longest time. And Dan Schneider's kind of the same thing. Like he's been the kind of guy who's been like, hey, my general manager, you're going to pay Albert Haynesworth a ridiculous amount of money and bring him here. But yeah. we don't think he's worth that. You're going to pay him. You're going to make him the highest paid defensive player, and then he's going to fail every physical we give him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Please tell me that was part of the contract, though.
We
didn't think about that.
So Xavi Castaño-Muniz doing some really good lap times there. Just put up his fastest lap of the race, or he tied it. Also possible. 2:19.389. So he's right up on the tail of Liable and Higgs. Kind of weird here. Looks like we got kind of a reverse pace thing going here over the last couple of laps. Castaño-Muniz is catching both of them. Liable, of course, was catching Higgs at a very rapid rate, but he caught him and couldn't overtake him. And we'll see if Xavi has better luck. Dudu Barba, by the way, in the pit lane. So that'll change the lead back to A. Jeff. And we'll see where Barba comes out, because that's going to be very interesting. Where does Barba fit into the running order? It's behind Rahatchik, who's in 8th place now. I assume Friesen is probably also overtaken him. And probably Kenny. Will he come out ahead of Liam Curtin is the question. As Rahatchik is on the tail of Albert Arjona, but that gap has actually grown from last I looked at it from 0.8 seconds to 1.2 seconds. So Arjona is pulling away a little bit. And we still don't know where Barba is fitting in the equation. There we are. Swap over to Alexander Doro's been made. They have come out ahead of Liam Curtin, but behind Sean Kenny and Eric Friesen. And that, I thought, was really the battle they were going to have. But they're 7.3 seconds back now. Interesting. I mean, they will have a massive tire advantage right at some point. But they still have to make a pit stop. I don't know about this strategy of going 47 minutes on that first set of tires. I think that's an overreach by the Shadow Project team. As Matt Higgs has vanished from the battle for third place. It's now Leibel ahead of Xavi Castaño-Muniz, and Higgs is shown in 6th place. So, Byron, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think we missed Matt Higgs fucking up.
That is disappointing, and I will now have to invent a narrative to take the place of the perceived fuck up.
of the actual fuck up. We'll have the narrative of the fuck up.
So, I mean, it's gonna get. I have to get creative. Where
Xavi Castaño-Muniz in the inside of La Source. They're going down to Eau Rouge. Who will give way? This could be horrifying. Oh Lord! Oh boy! and the Porsche comes out on top. Yeah, you kind of get 3 track cuts before the game penalizes you, though, through Eau Rouge.
I think that might count as 2.
You got to use them wisely. And if it gets him 3rd place, this was a wise use of it from Xavi Castaño-Muniz, and he is indeed ahead of Michael Leibel. It's 3rd place for the Porsche man. And the all-German podium is back in business with AJF for Audi, Mercedes and Dominic Turcotte, and Castaño-Muniz in the Porsche. We have 4 Porsches in the top 5 and 3 McLarens, so those appear to be the cars to be in today. 1 Audi, 2 Mercedes. Not a good day for Aston Martin, Curtin down in 12th place and Barker in 15th. And just the single Ferrari today of Dave Nelson. The only Italian car. No Lamborghinis, 1 Ferrari. Not, kind of a relatively small manufacturer field, to be honest. We'll see if Muniz can pull away from Leibel. That's going to be the key.
I'm always a little disappointed I don't see a single Studebaker out there. No,
it's not an option.
Not an option.
Not an
what
option.
Kind of car racism do you have in this stupid game?
They don't race in GT3.
Y'all ain't got no Dusseldorfs, no fucking Daihatsus.
We have all the common GT3 cars. Not all of them, mind you. There are some people missing. Notably, there is you can run a Dodge Viper and a Ford Mustang and a Ford GT. Those are all missing. A lot of American cars, actually, now that I think about it. The Corvette, of course, the C7 and C8 Corvettes, missing from the field. It's a notable brand. Naps Sean Kenny all over the back of Eric Friesen. This battle's been going on all race. I love it. So you can see that the Fanatec banner is missing from Eric Friesen's car. That is because he is racing a British GT car, which is the domestic British series for GT3 cars. And as a result, he has British GT on his windshield as opposed to the Fanatec. That's how you can... One of the many cues on how to figure out what series the car races in if you're interested in seeing this livery in real life.
What about Unreal Life?
Well, this is Unreal Life, so there you go.
Whoa.
Oh, somebody off the track there. Not sure who. That's Matt Higgs! Matt Higgs tumbling down the order. He's thrown it away again. Matt, may I suggest a pit stop? We've only got 38 minutes left in the race. You could easily pit now, fix your damage, and try and make a storm back through the field. He's dropped down behind Freisen and Kenny. I think Doro will probably also overtake him. I think they're close together behind there. We'll get an update at the next timing marker, which will be Stavlo, I think. They work their way through La Franche, or Les Franches. Yep, there it is. Coming up to Stavlo, which is that sharp...
Le Crème Franche.
That sharp turn right here, and into the timing zone. So there's the update. Freisen up to 8th place, Kenny to 9th. We'll see where Higgs is behind them. Doro is through. Oh, it might not just be Doro. Wow, Higgs is... No, there he is. Okay, he's fallen 7.6 seconds back of Doro. Wow. Matt Higgs, ladies and gentlemen, an expert at getting himself into a podium position and then throwing it away.
Well, this is still the warm-up lap, right? So.
No. On the warm-up lap, Matt only messes up other people. They actually gave you the option to ghost the cars now on the warm-up lap, just because Matt Hughes or Matt Higgs. I am suddenly overcome with a burning urge to call Matt Higgs Matt Hughes for the rest of this race.
That's fair.
That might be a little bit unfair to Matt Higgs, actually. That might be too far.
That also seems fair.
As he's dropping back to the order. So he will be the first one to make his second pit stop. We'll see where he comes out. I mean, to be honest, he'll come out at the back of the pack because there's not a pit stop gap really anywhere in the field. So he'll come out at the back, and then we'll see if he can get into some open air, throw down some fast laps, maybe throw out some 218s, which I think is the ultimate pace here, and try and make his way back up. And of course, we got 35 minutes for somebody else to mess up. So still a lot to play for here for the 918 Porsche. Still riding with Sean Kenny as we pick up the race leader, A. Jeff. Not entirely sure why. Just did a 2:19.3 last time around. Fastest lap is indeed just into the 2:18s. Xavi Castaño Muniz still running good lap times. 2:19.4 last time around. This time around it's going to be 2:19.4 again. Wow. That's consistency. Higgs still in the pit lane, so he is falling off the lead lap. At least for now. You will lose close to a lap, though, with a pit stop, so I think he'll probably find himself back more or less on the lap once the pit stops from the leaders come in.
Well, I mean, they only have 34 minutes left to do the pit stop, so they better get that underway.
I think we'll probably see some pit stops in maybe another 2 laps. About the 30-minute remaining in the race mark probably is where I would think we'll see most people more or less aiming for their final pit stop. But of course, it'll depend on things like damage, if there's any perceived issue with the tire set. Obviously, if you flat spot a tire, you're going to probably come in a little bit earlier, get that fixed. They really have upgraded the marble bits, which is the rubber that comes off the tires sticking to the cars. I've noticed the cars are around the bottom looking a lot dirtier these days. So you can see a substantial amount of rubber buildup on Xavi Castaño Muniz's car. Been a good day for Xavi. Not nothing spectacular or unexpected, running in third place, but he's actually catching up to Dominic Turcotte, I think. Be interested to see if we get a look at their recent times, because they're I don't recall them being this close, but they're only 2.7 seconds apart. Nobody has been able to take the fight to A. Jeff, though, who is leading in imperious, domineering fashion for the Audi team. looking for his second win. He did win at Nürburgring as well. Being bugged for money for my fantasy basketball team. My apologies, everybody.
I mean, I only bug you for money when I have an international cartel trying to kill me.
That's a good time. Albert Arjona, by the way, into the pit lane. Looking to... Oh! Contact between Sean Kenny and Eric Freisen. Freisen punted off by Sean Kenny. That will probably go to the stewards, I'd imagine. And Alexander Doro. Sorry, driver change. I'm not. We have so few driver changes that when they happen, I'm not entirely ready for it. John Barker with Michael Magas closing in on the rear of him. Just a half second between the Audi and the Aston Martin at this point. Magas coming down the inside. Oh, contact. That will probably also go to the stewards. As action in the bus stop continues. Spinning around to the V12 also loses a spot to James Butler. So Arjona in the pit lane. We'll see where he comes out and how that's going to shake out. But I think that probably won't tell us a ton until we get some other pit stops, to be honest. Dave Nelson's making great hay through the second phase here. He was battling with Mindak and Magas, Butler, Barker, well ahead of them now. So he's done a fantastic job here in the second phase of this race for the Ferrari crew, the 52 Ferrari, up to 11th place at the moment, but probably 12th effectively. Probably will come out behind Albert Arjona once they hit the pit lane, and then it'll be interesting to see what Matt Higgs can do. But I think Higgs has to make up a full lap, which might be a problem. So we stick with John Barker in the V12. I'm just going to let you enjoy the V12 sounds. As we come back to Sean Kenny with Alexander Doro on a still. Turcotte in, Leibel in. So that's second and fourth place in the pit lane. Xavi Castaño Muniz up in second place. We'll see what Xavi can do. We should have a pretty busy pit lane over the next little bit here. This is about the spot. Yellow flags back out. Or something. I don't see on the screen what that something is. So get ready for someone to maybe drop back through the order that's not in the pits. Eric Freisen into the pit lane. John Barker into the pit lane.
Life in the pit lane surely make you lose some time.
It does, but everybody's got to pay.
Everybody's got a price.
Money. Platinum driver Alexander Doro trying to push his way through the field on the tail of Sean Kenny since taking the car over from Dudu Barba down the inside of Pouillon, and he's got it. Kenny looks like he's struggling. Probably needs to get in the pit lane. I think those tires might be past their best right now. As we pick up Albert Arjona, who is just picking up his first lap after the pit stop. You see the 3-minute 50 lap. That's pretty common for an outlap. and overtaking a couple of people who are in the pit lane, including John Barker, James Butler, and Eric Freisen.
He's buttling right along.
Leaders in, AJF into the pit lane, John Spriggs into the pit lane as well, and Robin Rahatchuk into the pit lane. So pit lane getting busy right now. Your thoughts on Samoa Joe being released by the WWE, Byron?
I feel like they gave up on him because he was injured, and it's all their fault, and they fucked up, and they didn't put the belt on him, and they really, really needed to do that. And
I don't necessarily think they really needed to do that. Admittedly, I've been.
If they wanted to keep Brock Lesnar relevant, they had to put the title on Joe, and they didn't because they thought they'd just have endless money, and now they have nothing.
Sean Kenny's still not pitting. He's up in 3rd place as a result, but his car looks a little loose, to be honest. You can see the bonnet, I think, is up a little bit. So I am a little puzzled. That might just be the livery, actually, I'm looking at, but it just looks like he's making some mistakes, which is very on Sean Kenny. So I think maybe getting into the pits, getting a new set of tires on, resetting, relaxing might be a good idea at this point. I'm surprised they didn't keep him after they were getting him some commentary bits that was being well received by the fans. So even if he isn't physically able to wrestle these days, just ride it out with a commentary spot. Man. I think a terrible, terrible loss to WWE. Not that they care.
I don't think they care about anything.
That's true. 6 cars still need to make a pit stop. That is, stop-go penalty for Robin Rahatzik. That is terrible for the number 22 car. Probably speeding in the pit lane, though. You got to not do that because this pit lane is very, very long. And that stop-go is going to cost him in the region of a lap. Wow. It's going to hurt. So that will drop him out of the top 10 for sure. Still waiting on Nelson, Curtin, Mindak, Sean Kenny, Doro, and Castano Muniz to make their pit stops. I suspect, given that Dudu Barba went over a half the race in the first stint with the McLaren, that we will see Doro stay out the longest. Sean Kenny into the pit lane. I personally think he probably should have pitted a lap ago. Just seemed off the ball, and would have been a good time to recenter. As someone who suffers from various physical ailments during the race, the pit stop is sometimes just more defined on when you need to get up and stretch.
A lot of Michael's physical problems can be traced back to all the shrapnel in his body from the incident.
Yes. You want to talk about the incident? We just admit that it happened. We'll move on.
It has been stricken from the records.
Dave Nelson up into 3rd place, but this is really just because he has yet to pit. Mindak in as well as Curtin, so we're down to 3 cars that need to pit still. Castano Muniz, Doro, and this man, Dave Nelson.
Dave Full Nelson.
Nelsinho.
Dave Helson?
Dave Helson? Dave Helson?
The David Helson, he's the very nice. He black belt in the Lamborghini.
That's a Ferrari.
Whatever, it looks like a Lamborghini.
It's a horse, not a bull.
Eh. So we got one that's a horse, one that's a bull. We need to come up. Somebody needs to another farm animal, like a donkey.
I'm trying to think if there are any.
Oh, maybe
more.
not a donkey.
There are a couple of other.
Is anybody use a rooster?
Not that I'm aware of.
Need a rooster.
There's
Alfa
a lion.
Romeo, get on it.
There's a lion. There's Matt Higgs trying to make up ground. Still not going terribly fast. 220.742. Last lap is Not slow by any means, but not the hot laps he really needed to be working. As we pick up Eric Freisen, who has moved into the top 10 as a result of Rahashik's drive-through penalty. There's Michael Leibel. Where is he in relation to Turcotte? About two and a half seconds behind. Not too bad. Looks like he's on for maybe getting that podium, but it's going to depend where Castano Muniz comes out, who is just in the pit lane. So it's going to be very interesting. Keep your eyes on the P beside Xavi Castano Muniz and where he comes out in relation to Turcotte and Leibel in that battle for a podium. It looks like we've lost a car. Oh, that's William Murr, I believe, throwing the towel in on this one. So he is done for the day.
What a quitter.
So Rahachik has served his stop-go and has come out in 16th place ahead of just Matt Higgs. Dominic Turcotte coming through. Where is Xavi? We need to see where that GPX Porsche is. It's on pit row. Is it out? Is it out? It might be out. Looks like it is. Looks like Xavi got out ahead of them. Nice work by the GPX crew. So, in fact, that's Xavi jumping Turcotte for second place right now. But, of course, we're on the Kemmel Straight with Xavi going kind of slowly. Turcotte might be able to do something with that. Oh. Xavi getting aggressive in defense. Leibel's coming through. Michael Leibel down the inside. No.
Going to get squeezed.
Turcotte hangs on to third place, but probably disappointed to have lost second place, which he's held all day. But Xavi making it count in that second stint. Doro and Nelson, by the way, is still yet to pit. So that's what's throwing off the positions here. You can basically move everybody up down to, for sure, Spriggs. Doro might be somewhere around Arjona and Kenny, that 8th place battle. Which is a bunch of battle right now, actually. Kenny is 31 seconds behind Arjona, so that's not really joined right now, but might see him come out in between those two. And then for Nelson, I don't know. I think Nelson's made this second stint really count. Might be up as high as 10th place. And Leibel around the outside of Blanchimont. He's got it. But we are coming up to the bus stop. Big overtaking opportunity right here. I don't think Turcotte's close enough. And forget second place. Turcotte dropped down to 4th by Michael Leibel and Xavi Castano Muniz as Dave Nelson hits the pit lane. You'll see a slow-moving Ferrari in the pits to your right of the battle. There he is. Making his way through that very odd, orange divider section. Seems very unsafe to use that, but okay.
That's my favorite kind.
As they head through Eau Rouge.
You just put up some, vaguely orange cellophane tape and make that the barrier.
I mean, it's not much more than that, to be honest.
It's more of a suggestion.
In the game, it's like a force field wall that you can run into, but in real life, those are not that hard to move. A collision at La Source could be very, very ugly for the pit lane. We'll just put it that way. Dominic Turcotte. This race has gone from... This debut in the Mercedes has gone from good to, well, a little bit worse. I mean, not that anyone's going to really complain about 4th place, but this late fall down the order, it's gotta smart. Xavi Castano Muniz looking back at Michael Leibel. Alexander Doro in the pits. He's the last one. Porsche v McLaren. The McLaren back up on the podium, driven by Michael Leibel. It's been a solid day. It's been a solid day for McLaren. Robin Rahashik was looking very good earlier on, although now he is towards the back, having incurred that stop-go penalty. And it's been a very solid return run for Eric Friesen as well. And Leibel looking to take a second-place result here if he can. They'll move up into second and third place as they pass Doro in the pit lane. Castano running 2:19.5, so running pretty much his best laps of the race. He's got good pace right now. So Leibel is going to have to work for it. And there is Doro in the pit lane, the Shadow Project McLaren. We'll see if they... I mean, I assume he's finishing the race, but they could, in theory, switch back to Dudu Barba in the pit stop. Oh, it looks like he didn't serve... Oh, we've got a pit stop mix-up for the 88 car. This is not good. That's going to be a major penalty if they can't sort that out. And that has really changed the complexion of this race for a number of drivers.
So, funny story with the pit stop mix-up 88. My former place of employment, you had to use codes, like numerical codes, when you were calling. So if somebody was shoplifting and the LP said, I need help, somebody would go over the PA like 44 to the front, which meant like any able-bodied person that wants to come out and like witness an ass kicking and just like document the fact that we didn't do anything wrong. Sort of be a passive observer, but you might have to help a little bit. So you got to call 88 or call 23 or do this or that or whatever. So if you had to go to the bathroom and you had to tell somebody you were working with... I do
kind of have to interrupt here because we've got a side-by-side going on between John Spriggs and Albert Arjona, and this is for 4th place.
I say wrong there.
Kind of a big deal. They've overtaken Turcotte. Turcotte is behind them somehow, so it has gotten worse for Dominic Turcotte. That's Doro up ahead, who's in 4th place, but has not served his final pit stop, and the window is closed. He is taking a time penalty for the team, about 130 seconds if memory serves. So he's not in this fight. He's just really slowing everyone else down.
Anyway, the end of the story is that if you had to go to the bathroom and say it out loud in front of customers, you just told somebody you were working with. Whoa!
Albert Arjona is sliding through bus stop. Oh boy! Oh no! Oh no! Re-enters right into Dominic Turcotte. Also, Doro, I think, foolishly going in the pits again. He can't serve his pit stop. Like, the window is closed. He's taking that time penalty regardless. So this pit stop is ill-advised from the 88 crew.
Again, the code to go to the bathroom in front of people was 88.
I assume 88.
Double the 44. It's more important, way more important than 44.
I assumed that's where we were going.
I gotta go take an 88. I'll be back. I'm gonna go on an 88 call. I'll be back.
Dominic Turcotte up into 5th place due to the Doro issue and the befallence of Albert Arjona. Although, to be honest, he also lost a spot in that, so I'm not sure how he's feeling about that. Dave Nelson is right on the tail of Eric Friesen. This is interesting. Because, again, didn't really think that Dave Nelson was going to be a player for the top 10 here today. All of a sudden, he is, because of issues for Doro, the drive-through for Rahachik, or a stop-go, pardon me, for Rahachik, and, of course, whatever happened to Matt Higgs, which will be an ever-developing myth of epic proportions. Eric Friesen running in 9th place. Under pressure from the Ferrari. McLaren v Ferrari. The classic F1 matchup, which isn't really a sports car matchup, honestly. It's really not been much of a tremendous rivalry between the McLaren car company and Ferrari in production cars, more just F1 to be honest. And you see how low these cars are riding. Wow, the wheel wells are very much in use here. Who's your pick? You think Dave Nelson's going to get this job done, or you think Fryson's going to hang on?
I think that probably Magas is going to run everybody off the road and then get 4th place.
I appreciate that confidence. 12 minutes to go, probably about 6 laps. So let's see here. AJF, pretty lonely in front. Not really much to talk about there. Castaño Muniz and Leibel are fighting over 2nd place. They're 1.3 apart now. That seems to have calmed a little bit. We'll see. John Spriggs is in 4th place. Largely kind of on his own right now. But Dominic Turcotte not too far off. That could still turn into something. Not sure what happened with Turcotte. I am bewildered. Sean Kenny running in 6th place. He's fighting with Albert Arjona. But I question where Arjona's car is at this point because he's had a bit of a rough time. And then you've got Liam Curtin, who's running ahead of this battle here. You can see him in the... Well, not right now, but in some shots you'll be able to see him in the distance. And then we got the Fryson versus Nelson battle. Mike Magas back in 11th place. Then it's Doro, who's probably in last place at this point. Mindak, Barker, Butler, Rahatchik, and Higgs. So this is by far the most interesting battle as they head into Lake Home. The Ferrari to the inside. Door shut by Eric Fryson. I don't think Fryson and Nelson ever showed down, really. Feels like Fryson's retirement came, or sabbatical came, about when Dave Nelson became a regular part of the ESR grid. So this is an interesting confrontation of generational talents. Over 9th place here. And bragging rights of the mid-engine supercar. Bryson's still defending. Flashbacks to the early 1990s when the McLarens ran the Marlboro colors and were the red car along with the red car Ferraris. Although, generally, they were not battling over 9th place. But let the analogy stand.
Sir, those are clearly Chevy Corvettes.
To be honest, the McLaren does look a fair bit like the newer versions of the Corvettes, which are kind of adopting more the standard mid-engine supercar look, as opposed to the previously relatively unique look that the Corvettes had.
I'm holding out for the top engine cars.
That'd be interesting.
They will run so much faster because they'll be cooled by the air on top of the car.
The cooling would probably actually be legitimately better, but I feel like there are a lot of other problems. As Albert Arjona making an unscheduled pit stop, a non-mandatory stop, and Arjona's season in the Enduro just continues to be very bad. I don't know how else to put it.
What if they put the engines on trailers behind the cars and then sculpted the bodywork to funnel air over the engine on the trailer?
I feel like the trailer would be an amazing weak point of the car. As Fryson continues to... It looks like Nelson definitively is the faster car right now, but catching and overtaking are two very different things, as we've covered immensely over the course of our broadcasting career. This battle has also become for 8th place with Arjona's pit stop, so that much more intense. Fryson's still hanging on. Probably seething a little bit under the hood after getting punted by Sean Kenny at the bus stop before the second pit stop.
Down here at the pawn shop. It's the only way to shop.
I mean, there are other ways to shop other than the pawn shop.
I haven't listened to that song in a long time. I might have to go on a Sublime fucking rampage. The problem is with Sublime Rampage, you sometimes can't pull yourself out.
That's true. Eric Fryson still hanging on to that 8th place from Dave Nelson. Dave, oh no! Arjona is still in the pit lane, so it looks like major damage for the GPX Porsche. And that might let Matt Higgs overtake him.
Ground control to major damage. We're picking you out of the bumper. I don't know the rest of the words, but I can make up lyrics because I'm familiar with the rhythm.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job.
Oh no! Something about leaving a cake out in the rain. I can't. I tried to transition to MacArthur Park. It didn't work. Because Weird Al flashed into my brain because parody.
Well,
he did
yeah.
Jurassic Park based on MacArthur Park.
He is definitively the king of parody.
Sure ain't no e-ticket, and I'll tell them where to stick it.
Don't go making phony calls.
Also correct.
Stick to the 7-digit numbers you're used to. Which doesn't work anymore, because now you got the area code.
God damn it. Stupid kids and the overpopulated. I think we should just slaughter people so that we have a lot of more room for phone numbers. I don't want to push more buttons. Screw that.
I mean, at this point, we don't really. At this point, we don't really dial numbers anymore, though. We just have speed dial.
That's true. No, I have to do that with my phone software, though. For work, it's not fun.
Yeah, I can feel you there. Also, at this point, I mean, I only really phone one person, and it's my dad when he needs money.
You should phone him up asking for money.
Dad, you can't get blood from a stone, my friend.
Let's call him every hour on the hour for 4 days straight.
Believe me, when my dad has money, he's calling me because, you know, he's got that check that needs to get cashed. He doesn't want to go do the payday loan. Oh, Nelson again on the hunt through Blanchimont. Feel like probably bus stop is his best bet. You're coming up to it. Defensive line from Fryson. He says, "Go around if you must." And Nelson overcooks it a little bit. I feel like really the two spots that Nelson might be able to get this job done is bus stop and Lake Combe. So he's got 4 more chances probably to do it because we've got about 2 more laps to go here at Spa-Francorchamps. See what that Ferrari can do. Looking down the order, just not really seeing a lot of other battles going on right now. There is an 8/10 gap between Michael Magas and Alexander Doro, but I don't really know what to make of that fight because Doro has a penalty that really makes it mute. The other battle might be John Barker versus Lawrence Mindak, which is a battle that I didn't really... drive-through penalty for Doro. It's just compounding on him. He's got a drive-through and he's got a missed pit stop penalty. He's got over 200 seconds in penalties, I think. Wow.
Horrible.
Probably something like 250.
Perhaps he's looking to compound that with a penalty.
For sure. So at some point, hopefully we get a pick. We get a look at Mindak versus Barker because that's getting closer. It's down to 0.6 of a second. Or 0.4 of a second. Pardon me. It's getting very close. So, Camera guy, if you could get us on that at some point. And I know, we don't have a director. We're relying on the auto director here, which is always a little bit painful. This is not done live in front of a studio audience. It is recorded after that.
I imagine the studio audience in my brain.
Well, I mean, you got to imagine the audience in your brain. That's how you manage to get the good stuff.
Oh wait, no, that's just the laugh track that plays all the time. Never mind.
I mean, that is the audience. You make the audience laugh all the time. It's entirely accurate.
The voices. Ah!
All right, let's see if Nelson tries again into the bus stop. I don't think he's close enough. I think Fryson's got that covered off for the time being. Is this the longest two cars have been on the screen for for unbroken?
Yeah,
Oh, there we go. Doro and Magas. And if I'm Magas, I just let Doro through because I know he's got 200 some odd seconds of penalties, and I don't want to deal with that.
Oh, I guess. Whatever. If it's a free, put him in the wall. What's gonna happen? What's the worst that can happen?
Damage to the car. Loss of positions.
Oh yeah.
Being forced into a pit stop.
Oh yeah.
Like, sometimes you just gotta know this is not the fight that I'm having, and let's get out of here. Robin Rahatchik is up on the tail of James Butler, John Barker. Jeff is coming through, so this is a blue flag scenario as well. Rahatchik's, I think Barker had a problem, because Barker was right up on the back of Mindak, and he no longer is, so something happened between Barker and Mindak, or Barker just made a mistake. Possible. And now he's in a fight with Rahatchik and John Barker. And James Butler. So this is interesting. And back to that battle for second place that's quietly been simmering. Leibel and Castano Muniz. As they enter their final lap. So, leaders should be on the final lap at this point. And next time past the checkered flag for a reasonable chunk of the field will be their last. Leibel looking for a move down the Kemmel straight. Castano Muniz goes defensive. Looks to hold it in Lecombe. And it looks like he will for now. He's got that inside line. And into Malady. Can he hang on? Leibel looks hungry. He's got a silver win in the bag. Because Liam Curtin's the next silver driver down in 7th place. And he would like more. He would like a second place. Leibel has shown an amazing ability in some of these races to race with the big dogs. And he's doing that today, once again.
Wait, where's Ricardo Almeida?
The big dogs, not the big dog.
Oh. Well.
Really should see if we can get UFC fighter Thomas Almeida to come and race with us at some point, because he does the sim racing. Round the outside. Leibel tried it. Couldn't pull it off. Not really sure if that was really on at any point. That's just not really a spot I would have gone for it. It's bus stop or bust, I think, for Leibel right now. And we might... are we going to get a final lap? We might get another lap, because I think HF just went over the start-finish line.
Well, I mean, this is Thugschleife, and the
nope,
laps
never
are
mind.
17 minutes long.
Jeff is your winner. Into the bus stop chicane. Xavi going defensive. Why? What the fuck,
Because
director? Crash. This is John Barker has finished the race, ladies and gentlemen. There's no reason we should be looking at John Barker right now. There is your race winner, HF, in the red and black Audi, though. So there's that.
Well done, Albert.
Anticlimactically, I could say that Xavi Castano Muniz has, in fact, held on to second place. I would have liked to have been able to commentate it for you. But he did hang on. John Spriggs bringing it home in 4th place. I don't think we really saw a bunch of John Spriggs, did we? But a 4th place, none the result. Hey, an uneventful 4th place is still a 4th place. You wait on Dominic Turcotte as we look at Robin Rahatchik, who wasn't able to get the stuff done. I thought he would be able to move up a couple spots for that 15th place, but that is what he's got. Drive-through penalty for Albert Arjona, so that's going to be a time penalty added to his. Dominic Turcotte coming to join the Lesource parking lot.
I was going to say, I like the graveyard aspect we got going on. It's very nice.
Sean Canny will be next. There he is. Oh, no, that's not Sean
Do
Canny.
it, no.
That's Matt Higgs. That's Sean
He
Canny.
got DQ'd 19 laps ago.
Nah, just hasn't been relevant to the race for about 9 laps. All right. I'd like to get the action going on right now. Dave Nelson and Eric Friesen are still fighting over 8th place. But they come across the line. Friesen hanging on. Auto director letting us down here. And there is Nelson and Friesen coming to join the parking lot. The world's most expensive parking lot right now. Here at Les Horse. And the race is done. Jeff is your winner. Stano Muniz. Then it's Leibel, Spriggs, Turcotte, Kenny, Curtin. Curtin had a good run. 7th place. Good job. Friesen, Nelson, Magas, your top 10. Mindak, 11th in his debut. There will be an addendum to Doro's result there because of the pit stop violation. He will not get that 12th place. He'll be dropped behind Barker, Butler,